Here we go. Onions. Ready, Gary.
Meow.
One of my favorite seasons of SpongeBob is season 2. Like, don't get me wrong, season 1 and 3 are also really good, and even modern SpongeBob has some good episodes. Season 13 was pretty good, and season 14 has been alright so far. But anyways, season 2, the episode we're gonna be covering is Something Smells. And yeah, this episode has a couple of mistakes. Here's the first one, Grapple Gang. Let's see if you guys can spot it.
Ketchup.
Did you guys catch it? Because this one even took me a couple of times to actually understand the mistake here. It has to do with SpongeBob's hand. As when SpongeBob opens up this giant ketchup bottle, like that is a massive bottle of ketchup, and squeezes it into his sundae bowl, a ketchup sundae, disgusting. Look, his right hand is backwards. And to really show you guys, I want you to take your arm, all right, your right arm, and position it like SpongeBob's arm in this shot, and you'll see that his hand was drawn backwards. Again, it's very easy to miss, but yeah, this is totally a mistake. And here's another one from the same episode.
I mean, it's one thing if you have bad shoes or even bad hair, but...
Patrick! You're not ugly. Your breath stinks. Really bad.
So this next one happens really fast. It's only for about a frame or so. But when SpongeBob starts screaming Patrick in the clips you guys just saw, a majority of his holes just disappear. Like, look at this spongy dude over here. It's so weird seeing him without all of his holes. Also, just saying, it kind of makes it a little funny, but if you look at SpongeBob's reflection in the same shot, the reflection has the holes. Like his reflection in the water, so why doesn't he have his holes? It's so weird. It's nothing compared to the next episode we're gonna cover though, which has 3 whopping mistakes. Let's keep it rolling, Grapple Gang.
Hey! I want to learn how to do that!
Well, what, you mean karate?
Uh-huh.
We're heading over to season 7 for this next one, and this episode is not liked by the SpongeBob community very much. It's Karate Star. I personally don't think that the episode is that bad, but a lot of fans just do not like this one, mainly due to the plot, but surprise, surprise, the episode itself also has a bunch of mistakes, and let's get right into them. Here's the first one in Grapple Gang. Try to guess what the mistake is before I reveal it. Try to comment what the mistake is before I actually say what it is. I know you guys can do it. Anyways, roll that footage.
Oh, what's this? I haven't seen this before. Oh, yeah.
Hey, look, it's Patrick!
Hiya, SpongeBob!
What are you doing in there? There, Neptune!
So this one's weird, alright? Let's take a look at the Krusty Krab from the outside, and you'll notice that the Krusty Krab doors have these yellow handles on them, alright? It's been there ever since the first ever episode, and it's just how the doors look, man, alright? It's how they look. But in the clips you guys just saw, when Patrick chops through the Krusty Krab doors with his karate, or his karate, those yellow handles do not appear on the floor, when they really should. Like, this mistake is a bit of a nitpick on my end, and I can understand why the animators were a little too lazy to put the handles in this shot, but it's still technically a mistake.
Lipids and cream.
We're all out. In fact, we're out of everything.
Alright, mistake number 3. So as you guys saw in the clips, Patrick over here orders a delicious ice cream, alright? I could go for some ice cream right now. Comment down below, Grapple Gang, what's your favorite flavor of ice cream? Mine is cookie dough. But anyways, when Patrick orders his large ice cream, the amount of scoops on his ice cream inconsistently change in between shots. For example, when he first gets it, it looks like this, and there's this many scoops. But when the shot changes, look, so do the scoops of ice cream. Not a huge deal, but this one is most certainly a mistake, and hey, mistakes happen sometimes. It's a 2D animated show, but I caught ya. And let's catch more heading over to another episode. And guys, stay tuned because the mistakes are only gonna get crazier as we go. I'm saving the craziest mistakes for the end.
Why don't you just take it off so you don't have to go to work today?
I'm afraid it doesn't work that way, buddy.
I hate that hat!
You know, we cover a ton of mistakes on this channel, and there are some mistakes that just actually crack me up, and this is one of them. It's from the episode No Hat for Pat, which is kind of an underrated episode, just saying, with Patrick becoming an attraction at the Krusty Krab because he constantly falls and hurts himself. I actually feel kind of bad for Patrick in this episode, but anyways, here's the first mistake. Let's see if you guys can catch it. Grapple gang, roll that footage.
Whoa, that's enough, lad. What do you think? I made a ketchup?
Yeah, this one's pretty straightforward, but the Krusty Krab sign, alright? Normally it looks like this, and as you can see, it says the Krusty Krab. Of course, it's the Krusty Krab sign after all. But in this one shot from No Hat for Pat, look, the sign is misspelled, with the U in Krusty being replaced with a Y. But yeah, that's not how the sign is supposed to look. As a matter of fact, here's a side-by-side of how the sign looks in other episodes, and yeah, you guys can really see the mistake now. So weird, but not as weird as this next episode's set of mistakes. Let's keep it rolling, gang.
How much is this, Joker?
It's a wristband. Awesome.
So this next episode is actually one of my favorites in terms of modern day SpongeBob, especially in terms of season 9. The episode is Mall Girl Pearl, and it's a cool episode because it isn't about SpongeBob, Patrick, Sandy, or Mr. Krabs, it's all about Pearl. Anyways though, we're here for mistakes, alright? We're not here for a deep dive into Pearl, so here's the first mistake from this episode.
No! You don't work at the mall, do you, Derek?
No, but all my girlfriends do.
So this one is a bit of a nitpick, but it's still technically a mistake, and listen closely because it's kind of technical. But when Pearl first reads her Coral Cuties magazine, we can see that the magazine's name on the back is shown in yellow text. Remember this, alright? It's yellow text. However though, after Pearl puts it down and the scene progresses, look, that yellow text, which was yellow, is now red. It just randomly changes. Also, as you guys can see in this shot, when Pearl's reading the magazine, this guy right here, Derek, is on the back of the magazine. We can see her looking at it. However though, when she puts the magazine down, look, Derek has just completely disappeared from the back of the magazine. He does reappear when she picks it up, but yeah, very, very messy. And here's another mistake from Mall Girl Pearl.
Daddy! Guess what?
Don't I have no idea, Pearly.
This next mistake is a major issue, and it's because it goes against SpongeBob lore. I know I sound crazy when I say SpongeBob lore, but there is a canon to this stuff. Now, for context, back in the episode Sleepy Time, I love this episode, it's iconic, we see Mr. Krabs' driver's license, and as you can see, it says that his birthday is on November 30th, 1942, and that his address is 3541 Anchor Way. Remember this, alright? Remember this. As in Mall Girl Pearl, we get another look at Mr. Krabs' license, and things have just completely changed now. Like, whoever animated this shot of Mr. Krabs' license needs to go and watch older episodes of SpongeBob because they're wrong, with it claiming that he was born on September 25th, 1960, and that his address is 2219 Anchor Street instead of the other address I mentioned before. Now, don't get me wrong, dude could have moved, like maybe Mr. Krabs moved, but you're not able to change your birth date, all right? Like, you're not able to. It's kind of funny because if Mr. Krabs did this himself, maybe Mr. Krabs forged his ID so that he comes across as younger. This would make sense because if we go back to Midlife Crustacean, like that episode from I think season 2, it's all about Mr. Krabs wanting to be younger, so a bit of a SpongeBob theory here, but also the mistake is that at first his ID or driver's license said this, and now it says this, making for a mistake. And we ain't done yet, baby. Let's keep it moving. Let's head over to our next episode, and this is where things get spicy.
You running like that crazy? Huh, crazy fish?
You bet your frosting, sponge cake.
Sorry, I'm not wearing any frosting. Hey, that's cheating!
Coming in hot, we've got Blackened Sponge. This is a weird SpongeBob episode. The title's very weird, just saying, Blackened Sponge. But it's all about SpongeBob getting a black eye and lying about it. He actually like slips and hurts his eye, but he goes and lies to everyone and tells them that he got in a fight with some dude. SpongeBob, you're such a capper. As a matter of fact, we're gonna get into the mistakes, but I want you guys to hear SpongeBob's elaborate little lie here about what actually happened.
when a wanton cry of distress pounded against my eardrum, which was a victim tied at my feet, when a large bowling pin struck me in the face. The hurler was none other than Jack and Crazyfish. The very thought of being vanquished made Jack and Crazyfish burst into tears. One of the blasts went haywire and hit me right in the face.
Yeah, so that's what SpongeBob says is what happens. Again, we're gonna get into the mistakes, but this is what actually happened. Look.
Ooh, what a relief. For a second there, I thought I gave myself a black...
Yeah, SpongeBob, you are a massive liar, and guys, here's the first mistake from this episode.
Yee-haw! Get out, little fishes!
Hi, Sandy.
You guys probably caught this one, but when SpongeBob says, "Hi, Sandy," look, part of his white shirt is black, when of course it's supposed to be white. I don't know what happened here, but it's definitely not supposed to be black. Here's mistake number 2 from Black and Sponge.
SpongeBob is 13 and a half minutes late for duty.
I hope for his sake this means he was in a horrible accident.
Well, looks like I was right about the accident part.
This one is definitely going to need some explaining, but it's pretty rough. So, when Incidental 107, this guy right here, first appears in Mr. Krabs' comments about how late SpongeBob is, Incidental 107 is seen in his normal color scheme, alright? This is how he's always drawn in color. However though, when SpongeBob eventually comes in and walks past Incidental 107, who's with Incidental 14 at the time, look, Incidental 107 is now just a completely different color. They just completely changed his design, and there's only one of Incidental 107, so this was absolutely, positively, 100% a mistake. And believe it or not, I've got another one from this episode. 3 in 1 episode is wild.
Crazyfish sprang up out of nowhere. He threw a giant tire at the back of my head. Then he stood over me to gloat. I jumped up and karate kicked his hairpiece right off of its snaps. He was so ashamed, he ran all the way home, leaving behind a pool of tears.
Did you guys catch it? Well, when Jack M. Crazyfish, the dude that SpongeBob supposedly beat up, when he in SpongeBob's story runs all the way home, leaving behind a pool of tears, major cap, we can see that SpongeBob is wearing his Krusty Krab hat. But guys, what's missing? Come on, let me know in the comments what's missing from his hat. I'm gonna give you guys like 5 seconds to figure it out. Yeah, he's missing the anchor on his hat. Massive mistake. Let's keep it going though, gang. Let's head over to another episode, and don't worry, random mistake of the day is coming up soon.
Why?
Are you open?
Read the sign.
I'll have a Krabby Patty Deluxe and a double chili kelp fries.
Back to the classics. Next up, we've got Graveyard Shift, and this one's a cool one where Squidward and SpongeBob are forced to work like overnight, and they get terrified when this new kid is coming to apply. They think he's the hash-slinging slasher, but he's actually just this cute kid right here. All right, enough spoilers. Here's the first mistake.
The hash-slinging slasher!
Get away from me! Oh, he's gonna flip me! Get away, get away, get away!
SpongeBob, no matter what I've said, I've always sort of liked you.
Squidward, I used your clarinet to unclog my toilet.
Huh?
So let's take a look at SpongeBob's design, all right? We're looking at this PNG of our favorite yellow spongy boy right here, and you'll notice he has this red line under his mouth. It's always been there ever since season 1, and it never really disappears. It's supposed to represent like the under part of his jaw, I think, or the bottom part of his mouth. But anyways, in Graveyard Shift, when Squidward and SpongeBob are shaking under the misconception that the hash-slinging slasher is approaching, that red line under SpongeBob's mouth actually flickers between normal and invisible. I'm playing it in slow motion right here. I zoomed in and I sharpened the footage, and yeah, you can see it kind of just goes back and forth between the two, which is very awkward and weird. You know what's also gonna be weird though? The random mistake of the day, a quick segment in every video where we take a moment to talk about mistakes from a random cartoon suggested by you guys, and then we go right back to SpongeBob. Don't worry, we're gonna get right back to your favorite spongy boy. Today we're gonna do Pokemon. That's right, guys. We're gonna do some Pokemon. We're gonna catch them all today. Now, the episode in question is the episode Weekend Warrior, and I'm gonna show PNGs of them on screen. It has to do with these 3 Pokemon, all right? We've got Meryl, we got Breloom, and we got Shroomish, all right? I want you to remember their colors and their design. All right, you guys got it? You got it? All right, roll the footage. Let's see if you guys can spot the mistake.
As soon as May discovered this exciting event was taking place in Silvertown, well, you can be sure she wasted no time in entering.
Did you guys catch it? If you're a hardcore Pokemon fan, you probably did. If not though, Cartoon Corey's got you. Pretty much, there are a bunch of coloring errors with Pokemon in the shots you guys just saw. More specifically, this one right here. First up, we have this Meryl, who is incorrectly colored as light blue. This one's pretty soft. I'm not gonna lie, this one's not that big of a deal. Regularly, Meryl is like this dark blue color, but this Meryl is light blue, which is kind of weird. But like I said, not that big of a deal. What's really a problem is this Breloom right here. Normally, Breloom looks like this, all right? It's green with like red claws, and then there's a bit of white in their design as well. Looks exactly like this. But in this one scene, the animators messed up and gave Breloom this like weird like blue and green color. And it's not a shiny, just saying, it's not a shiny Breloom. The other mistake is this Shroomish right here, which again, it's kind of like Meryl, it's not that big of a deal. But normally, Shroomish looks like this, all right? He has like this kind of beige top with green feet and then green dots on him. And as you can see in this episode, they completely botched his design. They gave him like white spots for some reason. The top of him is correct, but if we look at his feet are supposed to be green and they're not green. So yeah, 3 mistakes in one scene here. Like I said, if you're a hardcore Pokemon fan, you probably caught them, but back to SpongeBob. Also though, let me know if you guys want me to do more Pokemon in the future and comment other cartoons you want me to cover in the random mistake of the day. All right, back to SpongeBob.
Another day, another nickel.
It's not that funny.
It's funny because it's true.
Carpool's over.
Back to SpongeBob, baby, and we're gonna be doing the episode Funny Pants, where SpongeBob is tricked into thinking that he's lost his laugh. We're gonna get into the mistakes, but take a look at this compilation of scenes where SpongeBob just cannot laugh anymore. It's actually really sad.
If you burn out your laugh box, you'll live your whole life without ever laughing again.
Mr. Krabs?
What's wrong, boy?
I lost my laugh.
What is laughter?
The thing that used to give my life meaning and purpose.
Poor SpongeBob, dude. Like, his laugh is kind of iconic. I'm gonna play just a soundbite of his laugh. Dude, it's annoying, but it's iconic. It's a big part of his design, so I feel bad for him for losing his laugh. I also feel bad for the animators, though, for these mistakes. Here's the first one. So this one happens at the very end of the episode, and you know, it's kind of a tricky one. But at the very ending of the episode, when Squidward runs off of his bed, if we slow the footage down and look, it seems like he's walking on air for a moment. This might have been for comedic effect or something, but I do think this was a bit of an error. We don't know for sure though, so let's head over to mistake number 2 that's a lot more entertaining. This one's also near the ending of the episode, but when Squidward bursts through the hospital wall near the end, look, the heart monitor is still running, which shouldn't happen because Squidward is no longer like connected to the heart monitor. Weird. All right, one more from this episode.
Look! He's waking up!
Where am I?
You're in the hospital, silly.
Did you guys catch it? So let's take a look at Sandy right here and look at her design. A big part of it is on her like white suit right here, there's this acorn symbol right here. I'm circling it. Well, when Squidward wakes up from his coma, look, both Sandy's zipper and the badge from her suit are just gone. The animators just didn't draw it. I mean, to be fair, Mr. Krabs' hand is in front of it, but they should have at least drawn the zipper, so yeah.
And my favorite is the plaintive song of the blue whale.
Huh? Did you hear that?
What's wrong, Frank?
That song. It sounds just like Martha.
Frank, how many times do I have to tell you? Martha's no good for you. She's just no good.
This one is hilarious. It's from the episode You Don't Know Sponge, and it has to do with our boy Larry's shorts. Watch this.
And he's hanging out with Larry the lobster? Maybe I don't know much about Patrick either.
You guys probably caught it, but Larry over here, when he first enters the store, is wearing his signature swim trunks, alright? I wanna go swimming now. But as he approaches this blender, if we look closely and zoom in on his shorts that are behind the table, they're just randomly black. The animators just completely forgot to give him color. Does it look funny? Yes. Is it a mistake? Also yes. And here's another one from this episode.
Patrick didn't know anything about you, and he's supposed to be your best friend.
I know. It's like we're not friends at all.
Now, Patrick may not have passed the quiz, but like a true best friend, he's always right here for me, right? Patrick? Patrick?
So, when SpongeBob says the line you guys just heard, now Patrick may not have passed the quiz, look, their legs are missing. Their legs are just not there. It's kind of a weird angle. I can understand why they didn't draw them, but they're gone. Crazy how many mistakes there are in SpongeBob, man. It's like endless, so let's keep it moving. Another episode, baby, let's go.
What are those things?
Sea whelks, a pernicious form of sea snail, have invaded Bikini Bottom and are on the attack, devouring innocent citizens and covering the city with purple slime.
This one I'm going to make insanely quick because we've covered a similar one already today, but in the episode Whelk Attack, this happens.
Krabby Patties! Get your Krabby Patties! Try a nice hot Krabby Patty. Only $3.99 each. Be $54.95.
I will not be surprised if you guys did not catch it, but as Mr. Krabs is coming out with the plate full of Krabby Patties, and he exits the Krusty Krab with the doors behind him, if we look closely through the windows to the inside of the Krusty Krab, we can see that Squidward's cash register station is missing again. We know this because of the order window. We should be able to see the boat that Squidward is normally in right below that order window, but it's not there. And I'm definitely overanalyzing this because it's a kid's cartoon and it's not that big of a deal, but let's keep on overanalyzing and head over to another episode and find more mistakes. But actually, first, it's time for the random mistake of the day, where we take a very quick break from SpongeBob. Don't worry, we're gonna go right back to SpongeBob to expose a mistake in a random cartoon. Again though, we're gonna go right back to SpongeBob, but for now, let's talk about Fairly Odd Parents, another Nickelodeon banger. The mistake can be found in the episode Power Mad, and it has to do with the character Chester. Here's a little hint, we're showing Chester on screen, remember his hair color. Alright, let's see if you guys can catch this mistake. Roll the clip.
Guys, wait! We really need to stop playing. Why? I have to go?
But you don't. You just win at 6:13.
So you guys probably caught it, especially with the hint I gave you, but if you didn't, Cartoon Corey's got you covered. So let's take a look at Chester right here, and we'll notice that his hair is blonde, alright? And even when they go into like virtual reality in this episode, his hair turns to like this pinkish color, but his hair is not black. So why during this scene are his eyebrows or eyelashes black? They should be blonde. So this is totally a mistake, and let's get back to SpongeBob. Do let me know in the comments though, guys, what other cartoons you want me to cover for the random mistake of the day. But yeah, back to SpongeBob.
Oh, whatever will I donate to the time capsule? Golly, this is hard. How about this lamp? It's perfect.
Wow, you're good. How did you know all that? Are you like a psychic? Oh, tell me what I'm thinking.
Next.
Our next mistake can be found in the episode Buried in Time, which is all about the Krusty Krab making like a time capsule. The episode's really funny. Take a look at the beginning here, and then we're gonna get into the mistakes.
Empty. I thought I'd never see the day. Use on or before the date printed below. Oh! This can has been here for 50 years! This should be in a museum for future generations to enjoy.
Future generations, huh? That's right. In 50 years, your donated treasures will be unearthed for future generations to enjoy.
Okay, it's mistake time. Here's the first one.
Tell me, what do you know about this plate?
It works good when I eat stuff.
Now, with your permission, I'd like to perform perform a few tests to verify its authenticity.
So as you guys just saw, there is one fish who brings plates to put in the time capsule, alright? And for about a frame, if you look, his eyes briefly disappear for a frame. They come back, but I mean, come on, man, they should be there the whole time. Here's mistake number 2.
Get to the Krusty Krab Time Capsule Spectacular!
And there's your commemorative time capsule keychain.
And thanks so much for all your contributions.
So throughout the scenes where the fish are putting things inside of the capsule, we can see this red ribbon which runs from the stand to the Krusty Krab right here. But throughout this scene, it actually just disappears and reappears. Just totally messy. And let's head over to another episode, guys. The mistakes in this episode we just covered are alright, but this is where things get wild. Be prepared.
Howdy, SpongeBob. You're right on time to help me test out my new Disappearator. It'll make anything disappear instantly. Now hold still, and I'll just shave a few inches off in the top of your noggin.
Oh, I certainly said... No can't do, you brainless lab rat!
Next up, we've got the abrasive side. This episode's pretty interesting. It's all about SpongeBob realizing that he's too nice, so like an actual sponge, he switches to the green side. He switches to his abrasive side. Now, we're gonna get into the mistakes of this episode as it has a ton of them, but first, here are some hilarious clips from this episode, and then we'll get right to the mistakes.
SpongeBob, would you help your granny cross the street?
Sorry, Granny. Why don't you walk yourself across the street?
I need you to work an extra 17-hour shift tonight.
Oh, sure thing, mister. Sorry, Krabs, I'm busy. Unless you're paying me overtime.
Overtime?
Yeah, so this is a really good episode. In terms of season 7, like this is up there as a really good episode. Even good episodes, though, have mistakes. Here's the first one.
Hey, SpongeBob! You're right on time for our play date.
Woo! I can't wait to ditch you. 'Cause you're my best friend. So beat it, Tubby. I don't care for your company.
Did you guys catch it? Because this one's really bad. It's only for a split second, so I get it if you guys didn't. But at one point, when SpongeBob is talking to Patrick, it happens for a frame, but look at one of his eyes. As part of his blue eye turns like red for a split second. Like what? And I'm gonna be honest with you, I have no idea how this mistake would have happened. It can't be a layering issue, but whatever. Here's mistake number 2.
Golly! We gotta get this varmint off you. Now turn around and grab something heavy. Now hold still. No.
Oh, you don't scare me, girly.
This is gonna sting worse than a jellyfish in a bucket of electric eels.
This one's really, really easy to miss, but when Sandy rolls up the sleeves on her suit, there is weirdly black hair on her arms even though she already has fur. Think about that for a second. Weird. Here's mistake number 3.
Sorry, Krabs, I'm busy. Unless you're paying me overtime.
Overtime? Overtime? More money per hour.
More money. For service above and beyond.
Okay, this one is really, really, really funny. At one point, as you guys saw, we go into a dictionary in this episode, and we can see the definition for multiple words, obviously. Now, when the dictionary is open, you'll notice that the word more is missing from the definition of overkill. In the episode, it reads as, the process of doing than a situation requires, when it's obviously supposed to say, the process of doing more than a situation requires. Also, in the same scene, you'll notice that the side of the entire dictionary is like incomplete. It like cuts off here. Anyways though, there's actually more mistakes in this episode. Here's another one.
You're right on time to help me test out my new Disappearator.
No can't do, you brainless lab rat.
Huh?
As you guys know, Sandy wears a helmet, a glass helmet that nothing should be able to go through because it's glass, duh. But when this thing hits Sandy, it somehow just goes through her helmet. It glitches and goes through her helmet when it shouldn't be able to do that because it's a glass helmet. Crazy, dude. Now, that's gonna do it for today's video, guys, but click this video right here for more SpongeBob mistakes. You don't wanna miss them. Also, a massive shout out to the Grapple Gang. I love you guys, all of my subscribers. I seriously appreciate it. This is such like a generic YouTuber thing to say, but I love you guys and I'm so thankful. Everybody at the Premiere Gang, everybody who watched the video, leave a comment and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Click this video here though first. Peace.